There's a persistent hum beneath your skin, a low-frequency alert system that never truly disarms, an invisible internal race you're constantly running, even when the world insists you should rest. Others dismiss you as too serious, unable to relax, or controlling, mistaking your intricate internal architecture for a character flaw. You feel perpetually drained, peace a fleeting visitor, and genuine rest an existential battle. This relentless vigilance carries a silent, crushing judgment, a sense of being fundamentally broken because you cannot simply switch off like everyone else. This isn't just about managing your own life. It's the profound burden of instinctively stabilizing the world around you, forecasting crises, anticipating needs, often for others. You've endured comments like, "You need to loosen up," as if your nervous system's default were a conscious choice. Society celebrates resilience, yet often misunderstands the deep exhaustion that fuels it. That old soul wisdom, that "too wise for your age" label, came at a profound cost. Moments of unburdened presence, deep rest, and the simple luxury of vulnerability. But what if everything you felt, and everything you've been told about growing up too fast, isn't a personal failing, not a flaw in your character, but a profound misinterpretation of your brain's most ingenious and dedicated survival strategy? This isn't about assigning blame or offering platitudes. It's about revealing a core neurobiological truth that will irrevocably recontextualize your entire experience, offering liberating validation and a tangible path to internal calm. That pervasive internal state you recognize was not a factory setting. No child is born with an inherent drive to manage crisis or anticipate every potential pitfall. Instead, your nascent nervous system performed an astonishing feat of biological reconnaissance. It meticulously surveyed the emotional and practical landscape of your earliest years, charting every shift in stability, every unspoken expectation, every instance where comfort was contingent. It mapped the subtle cues of unpredictability, the silent demands for self-reliance, the atmospheric pressure of constant vigilance required for equilibrium. This wasn't a choice. It was an involuntary, exquisitely calibrated response to what your brain perceived as essential for navigating an unpredictable world. It was a biological mandate, adapt or risk consequences that felt existential. Your neural pathways, still in their foundational stages, were tasked with constructing a fortress of foresight, orchestrating a level of self-sufficiency typically reserved for fully developed adult minds. This extraordinary preemptive programming, while securing a fundamental form of safety and stability for your developing self, simultaneously imprinted a deep, often unarticulated weariness. It robbed moments of simple, unburdened play, replacing them with a perpetual, silent executive function, a constant internal monitoring system that could never truly power down. This isn't a narrative of inherent brokenness, but a powerful testament to your system's fierce loyalty to survival, even at the cost of a childhood's easy innocence. Neural mappings confirm a profound truth about your internal landscape. Early, sustained exposure to stress, regardless of its perceived severity, profoundly reshapes your developing brain. This isn't abstract theory, it's a documented physiological event. Your brain was bombarded with a relentless cascade of cortisol, an architect remodeling core structures. Your amygdala, the brain's primal threat detection center, became exquisitely sensitized. It's an advanced radar system, calibrated to maximum sensitivity from the very start. Every flicker, every subtle shift in social or environmental dynamics triggers a full alert. This system is programmed to detect danger where others see none. Not from a flawed perception, but because your neural architecture was meticulously optimized for immediate threat identification, a biological imperative. Simultaneously, the hippocampus, crucial for memory, learning, and, critically, contextualizing danger, often bears the brunt of this early, chronic stress. Its capacity to differentiate between a genuine, present threat and a past echo, or a benign situation, can be profoundly compromised. This means your brain's internal threat assessment algorithm struggles with nuance, causing the past to feel frighteningly present, and uncertainty to always be painted with the brush of potential catastrophe. You aren't experiencing anxiety as a character flaw. You are experiencing a permanently sensitive alarm system, neurobiologically wired for protection, even if it now perceives phantom threats. Your brain, a remarkably pragmatic sculptor, didn't just adapt. It underwent an intense process of experience-driven neuroplasticity. Like an engineer constantly refining critical systems, your brain exponentially strengthened neural pathways for hypervigilance, for almost prophetic anticipatory planning, and, a key insight, for regulating others' emotional states. This hyperdevelopment, particularly evident in your prefrontal cortex, turned it into a masterful strategist. It constantly simulates future scenarios, runs complex what-if analyses, and orchestrates intricate responses to prevent perceived instability. This explains why you often feel compelled to plan multiple steps ahead, to foresee problems before they manifest, or to instinctively take charge in moments of disarray. This isn't controlling behavior, it's a testament to a powerful, biologically ingrained foresight, honed through necessity. In stark contrast, pathways linked to spontaneous pleasure, unbridled joy, and the effortless embrace of vulnerability were, by necessity, comparatively pruned. These were biological trade-offs. Your brain, in its relentless pursuit of system stability, prioritized the critical functions for survival over those perceived as non-essential comforts. This isn't an inability to feel joy or an inherent lack. It's a neurological resource allocation. Your capacity for carefree abandon wasn't stunted. Its neural pathways simply weren't deemed a priority in the foundational programming of an environment demanding constant vigilance. You are not lacking. You were simply optimized differently, making your journey unique. This adaptive programming manifests as a persistent dysregulation of your autonomic nervous system, ANS. This isn't a minor glitch. It's a fundamental shift in your internal operating system. You are often locked into sympathetic dominance, the perpetual fight-or-flight response. Your body is chronically prepared for action. Muscles subtly tensed, heart rate subtly elevated, senses acutely sharpened, always on high alert. Or you might find yourself in a chronic freeze state, a subtle but constant sense of numbness, emotional detachment, or an inability to initiate action, a deep internal bracing against perceived overwhelm. The vital rest and digest function of your parasympathetic system, designed for profound relaxation, recovery, and internal calm, is often suppressed. This consumes vital energy, creating that deep, inexplicable fatigue you carry, preventing the kind of genuine, restorative relaxation that others seem to access effortlessly. Your body isn't restless. It's always in a state of readiness, a physiological alert that drains your reserves, leaving you perpetually depleted. You are not strange, nor broken. You are the product of a hyper-efficient self-preservation system, neurobiologically optimized. This is where the core metaphor clarifies everything. Your brain is like a spaceship's onboard computer, programmed exclusively for emergency mode since its very launch. Every system, every circuit, was optimized for constant monitoring of perceived failures, for asteroid evasion, for critical resource conservation. Comfort systems, entertainment modules, and the capacity to enter a serene standby mode were secondary, if they were built at all. The HPA axis remodeling is like the primary power reactor being permanently set to maximum output, constantly feeding energy to all alert systems. The neuroplasticity favoring hypervigilance is the overdevelopment of advanced navigation and threat detection arrays. And the ANS dysregulation? That's the constant, subtle hum of the thrusters, the perpetual drain on the power core, even when the ship is cruising through calm space. Now, the ship has theoretically landed on a safe, tranquil planet. But the computer, having known nothing but emergency mode, continues to emit constant alerts, evade phantom dangers, and expend energy on unnecessary emergency maneuvers. It cannot simply power down and enjoy the landscape because its original firmware only recognizes survival. Your brain isn't failing, it's performing precisely as it was programmed to, a legacy that now urgently needs updating. The intricate wiring described, your brain's adaptive genius, indeed fostered unparalleled resilience. It granted an extraordinary ability to preempt problems, maintain composure in chaos, and navigate complex issues with efficiency. A biological brilliance constantly optimizing for stability and safety. But here is the critical nuance, often overlooked. Not everyone exhibiting intense responsibility or strategic foresight operates from a place of healthy, albeit demanding, biological regulation. There's a crucial difference between a finely tuned, emergency mode, and a system pathologically stuck, unable to disengage even when crisis passes. The architecture designed for protection can, ironically, become a prison if its settings are never updated. Decades of operating under an emergency protocol accumulate what neuroscientists term allostatic load, the chronic wear and tear on your body from sustained, unresolved stress. Your system, in its zeal to protect, exhausts itself from within, even in environments that are objectively safe, mistaking peace for the calm before a storm. Your system's unique capacity for deep threat detection, that almost preternatural ability to see patterns and identify risks, is a powerful asset. Yet, these same neural mechanisms, when perpetually overwhelmed or triggered without resolution, rigidify into patterns no longer serving their original purpose. This is the plot twist. A system can become so profoundly defensive, so utterly locked into anticipating danger, that it generates its own internal threats, even in safety. This manifests as perpetual emotional numbness, severing vital pathways for connection, or building impenetrable walls against vulnerability and intimacy, isolating the very self it aimed to protect. It can evolve into a chronic physiological freeze, where the ability to adapt or relax is profoundly compromised, a constant internal bracing against danger no longer present. Your onboard computer, in its relentless emergency mode, starts seeing ghosts in the machine. Its security system, designed to detect intruders, becomes so hyper-vigilant it struggles to register the absence of threat, continuously projecting past dangers onto a present calm. This distinction is vital for your peace. Are you navigating the world with an exquisitely tuned compass, a sophisticated threat detection system allowing unmatched foresight and resilience, one that can flexibly adapt its vigilance? Or has your system become entrapped in an inflexible freeze, a continuous hyper-defensiveness that has superseded its original mandate, trapping you in a cycle of isolation and exhaustion, unable to disengage? The difference lies in agency, in conscious choice within your biologically shaped responses. This is the crucial step from understanding what happened to discerning what you can now consciously choose to do with your magnificent mind. This insight is not a judgment, but a precise map for liberation. What if the very characteristics that have been labeled as your greatest burdens are, in fact, your most potent evolutionary advantages? The neurobiological architecture we've described, far from being a flaw, acts as an inherent shield against the most pervasive and insidious loops of modern society. Your finely tuned system, optimized for threat detection and stability, naturally resists the manufactured anxiety of the attention economy, the superficiality of validation traps, and the endless pursuit of external approval. Your brain, having learned early to discern genuine threat from benign noise, is uniquely equipped to filter out the relentless, often meaningless stimuli that overwhelm others, allowing for a clarity of perception most struggle to achieve. What society frequently dismisses as coldness, overthinking, or an incapacity for simple relaxation, biology recognizes as something else entirely. That perceived coldness is often a deep threat assessment, a rapid instinctual evaluation of trustworthiness and authenticity. It's a protective mechanism, safeguarding your core from superficial connections, manipulative dynamics, or energetically draining interactions. Your tendency to overthink is, in reality, anticipatory genius, a complex, high-speed simulation of future probabilities and potential consequences, allowing you to navigate intricate scenarios with profound foresight and mitigate risks long before they manifest. And that frustrating inability to relax is a manifestation of hyper-efficient physiological regulation, a system perpetually on standby, optimizing internal and external order, ensuring an immediate and effective response to any perceived shift in stability. This unique wiring, forged in demanding environments, offers an unparalleled advantage in navigating the sheer complexity and inherent precarity of the contemporary world. While others are swayed by fleeting trends, manipulated by emotional appeals, or crippled by unexpected challenges, your neurobiology grants you a steady anchor. You possess an innate ability to maintain lucidity in chaos, a problem-solving capacity that cuts through noise, and a strategic resilience that allows you to rebuild, adapt, and even thrive where others falter. Your mind is a fortress of foresight, a bioengineered system optimized for critical thinking and stability management, not for passive contentment. This isn't merely about coping. It's about embodying a distinct form of adaptive brilliance in specific, demanding niches. Your early adaptive programming, though costly in its development, has equipped you with a profound cognitive edge. It transforms what was once seen as a symptom, a burden, into a strategic virtue, an evolutionary safeguard against a world that often demands a level of discernment and resilience most are ill-equipped to provide. You are not experiencing a deficit. You are embodying a unique, biologically sophisticated form of adaptive intelligence, a testament to your system's extraordinary capacity to not just survive, but to master environments of intense pressure and unpredictability, acting as a crucial counterbalance to societal fragilities. The core realization here is not to fix something that was never broken. Your neurobiological architecture is a testament to profound adaptation, a highly sophisticated system designed for complex navigation. The imperative now is to consciously align your current environment, your relationships, and your daily practices with this unique internal operating system. You are not striving for a generic state of calm that contradicts your inherent wiring, but rather cultivating a profound sense of genuine safety that allows your highly sophisticated systems to consciously stand down from their perpetual alert. This means a deliberate creation of personal spaces, physical, mental, and emotional, that are truly secure, predictable, and free from the chronic instability your brain once learned to anticipate. It involves a radical acceptance of your unique processing speed and depth. What others might experience as a rapid-fire decision, your system might naturally require a more deliberate, comprehensive analysis. This isn't a deficit. It's the meticulous work of a profoundly intelligent system ensuring thoroughness. Embrace this inherent rhythm, rather than fighting against it. Understand that your intrinsic need for robust boundaries, for clear expectations, and for deliberate periods of decompression is not a mere preference, but a biological requirement for your optimal functioning. These aren't luxuries. They are fundamental operational protocols for your advanced internal system. By consciously curating an external reality that genuinely mirrors the safety your internal system now craves, you begin the essential work of repatterning, not erasing, your neurobiology. You are effectively teaching your spaceship's computer that it has, in fact, landed on a safe harbor. This journey is not one of solitary struggle. It is a shared recognition among those whose brilliance was forged in similar fires. If you recognize this profound, adaptive blueprint within yourself and are beginning to consciously renegotiate your brilliant adaptability, tell us how you are doing it. How are you moving from perpetual alert to a conscious state of safety? Comment. Emergency mode. Off. So others who recognize this journey can find you, and together, we can acknowledge this shared, often solitary brilliance. This isn't about conformity. It's about collective validation for a unique, powerful way of being. Your premature maturity was never a personal flaw. It was a neurobiological masterpiece, forged in necessity. That pervasive internal hum, the feeling of perpetually running a hidden race, once felt like a burden. In reality, it was the finely tuned operation of a system optimized for stability and foresight. Your early brain didn't merely adapt. It performed an astonishing feat of self-organization under extreme conditions, constructing an internal architecture capable of navigating unpredictability with uncanny precision. This isn't a deficiency. It's a testament to your profound biological resilience, a living blueprint of adaptation. Modern neuroscience is only now beginning to fully appreciate. This newfound lens transforms everything. The societal narrative often casts intense internal processing as weakness, too sensitive, too serious, or unable to cope. Yet, what others perceive as an inability to just relax is, neurobiologically, a highly advanced threat detection system operating at peak efficiency. It's the equivalent of a command center constantly monitoring every sensor, every data stream, ensuring the system's structural integrity. This vigilance, often mislabeled as anxiety or control, is actually a deep, ingrained commitment to stability. A biological promise to keep the ship from capsizing. It's why you anticipate risks before they materialize, why chaos often feels strangely familiar, and why you intuitively seek solutions others miss entirely. A deeper understanding of neuroadaptation compels a shift in collective judgment. What was once an individual failing must now be recognized as an incredible display of adaptive intelligence, a capacity for navigating complexity many systems lack. Imagine quiet strategists, hyper-aware architects of stability, seen not as emotionally distant, but profoundly attuned. Their perceived intensity becomes a biological superpower, essential for steering through the turbulent waters of modern existence. Relentless information, global volatility, human interaction. This reframing is liberating. It offers a vital framework for understanding others with profound new empathy, replacing knee-jerk judgment with recognition for intricate neural pathways forged by unique experiences. This perspective underscores that perceived rigidity or an inability to relax isn't a deliberate choice, but the vigilant operation of a deeply protective system, striving for equilibrium. Recognizing this intricate wiring fosters compassion. It highlights the immense energy expenditure involved in maintaining such a sophisticated internal fortress, clarifying the inherent need for genuine, unpressured safety zones. This deeper comprehension illuminates forgotten corners of the mind, fostering collective belonging for those isolated by their own strength. It shifts assessment from outward behavior to acknowledging complex, life-preserving algorithms running silently within. If this video has illuminated a corner of your mind that felt perpetually in shadow, offered a name and scientific validation to feelings you once bore in silence, or helped you truly understand someone you love who embodies these traits, then this message is meant to be shared. Send it to that person. Share it with anyone who needs to comprehend that their unique mind, with all its deep processing and vigilant wisdom, is not an error, but a testament to profound biological strength. It's an act of care, an offering of lucidity, for those who have navigated the world with an invisible, yet immensely powerful shield. This is how we begin to heal, not in isolation, but through shared understanding and mutual validation. This is how we collectively shift the narrative from personal defect to adaptive brilliance, recognizing that some of the greatest strengths are forged in the most demanding conditions. The journey you've undertaken, from the silent burden of feeling too much or too vigilant to this profound understanding, culminates here. That pervasive hum you've carried, that relentless internal clock that rarely wound down, was never an error in your design. It was the exquisitely complex operation of a system optimized for stability and foresight, a testament to your brain's prodigious capacity to self-organize under the most demanding conditions. What felt like an inexplicable difference, a source of constant self-judgment, was in reality the finely tuned vigilance of a highly sophisticated internal architecture, crafted not to falter, but to endure. This isn't a deficiency. It's the raw, undeniable proof of your profound biological resilience and adaptive genius. You are not merely coping. You have been operating at a level of strategic brilliance, navigating complexities that would overwhelm systems not forged in the crucible of necessity. This realization peels back the layers of guilt and self-blame, transforming the narrative from one of personal brokenness to one of magnificent, though demanding, neurobiological adaptation. The exhaustion you felt, the inability to simply switch off, now makes profound, undeniable sense. It was the constant energy drain of a system perpetually running emergency protocols, always scanning the horizon, always calculating the next move to ensure stability. With this truth firmly in hand, the path forward is illuminated. Your brain, once a tireless sentinel, can now be guided towards a new state of being. It's time to remember our anchor metaphor. Your brain is indeed like a spaceship's onboard computer, programmed exclusively for emergency mode since its very launch. It was designed for constant monitoring, for asteroid evasion, for critical resource conservation. Every circuit, every alert, served an undeniable purpose. But now, your ship has landed. The cosmic turbulence has settled. You are on solid ground, in a safe harbor. The emergency sirens, once a constant, deafening blare, can finally be recognized for their fierce loyalty, for their tireless service. They protected you. They guided you through countless perceived dangers, real and imagined. But their purpose, in this new terrain of conscious awareness and earned safety, has evolved. This isn't about silencing them through force, but about a profound, internal recalibration. It is about gently, consciously, and with immense gratitude for their past vigilance, allowing them to finally, truly, silence. This is the moment to update the firmware, not to erase its capabilities, but to recalibrate its default settings for an environment that now truly offers peace and rest. You possess the internal power, derived from this very insight, to shift from a perpetual state of emergency readiness to one of deliberate, embodied tranquility. This is your liberation. This knowledge empowers you to understand that the constant internal pressure was not a personal defect, but a biological echo of a past imperative. You are fundamentally, exquisitely whole. Your strength was never your curse. It was your salvation, guiding you here, to this moment of profound understanding. The revolutionary peace you seek is not about changing who you are, but about finally allowing your extraordinary system to rest, to finally land,